Um, there's so many YouTube videos. I was watching a recent Christian, and I'm just like, whatever, there's so many poor, desperate people in this world. And there's a young, chosen one, well, the elect of God. Personally, I like him the best out of all the chosen ones who say that they're chosen ones. He's the youngest, and he, it just seems like he's a real Christian. Okay, so the new guy that I saw recently had a guy come on about talking about the supernatural and demons. Yeah, I have personal experience with demons, and it all was from demon-possessed people who were my insane abusers. So they are delusional. They are way, way delusional. They are super, super violent. Talk about domestic violence. I've experienced it. I was traumatized to death by all of these demon-possessed people. My worst abuser was best friends with my worst enemies. He was. That's why he was my worst enemy, backstabbing me. And there's backstabbing like all the time. And I'm a dumb shit. I'd rather have, people not talk to me instead of sweet talk to me and backstab me behind my back saying I'm psychotic. You know what? I should be psychotic with all the hell that I've been through with these demon-possessed people. And there's just... that was my life. I'm afraid to death of them. I'm made it, but not that well. I've always needed help, and everyone knows my situation, but I don't get any help. And it's just irritating. So I look at all, the newest Christian, and I saw Tom Beckett, Cook something, I don't know. So, whatever, you're a Christian. My first thought is, do you help out any desperate victims? Because there's so many of them. And that's what you're supposed to do. I'm an empath. I just do that naturally. How many Christians will help out a desperate, poor victim? And there was one atheist. He's an atheist. Okay. No Christian helped out this poor mother. I guess this is a true story. On the radio, there was a poor mother who needed food for her and her kids and crying while the next door neighbor was an atheist. Well, he hid in the bushes and he gave her a box of food one day. Okay. She comes out. Thank God! Thank God! He runs out of the bushes. He's like, wait a minute. Your God didn't help you out? I did. I did. Well, God made you help me out. And see, he was just a nice person. Okay. Who didn't believe in God. That Jesus is God. And I still have to investigate on that, but I would think that Jesus is God, because then my personal prayer wouldn't be so powerful to me. See, okay, you have the downside of each, of the New Age. All these people, okay, bottom line, if you're a real Jesus person, you're gonna help out the poor, desperate people. And I don't see it in the world. Giving them a meal is a little bit of help. Now I'm 53 years old, and this is all I get. No help at all. You know, except from my perpetrators and insane abusers. That's all the help I got. That's the whole truth and nothing but the truth. Earth is hell. Yeah, and I came up with a recent conclusion about God. Well, there has to be a God because people worship Satan. Like, you know, they worship Satan. Period. Okay. I mean, if there wasn't, you know, that's why there has to be that's why there has to be, my Jesus has to be real. Alright, but I do not believe in Noah's story. I do not believe in Jonah. I do not believe in the Adam and Eve story. I do not believe in the Old Testament. Some of the Old Testament, yes. David had a rotten father. Okay, and then he was rotten, and he did major wrong. He killed a man's wife because he got her pregnant on the front lines. David, King David in the Bible. Alright. I think he was a believer. He suffered a lot. Now, that was his major wrong. And I'd rather call sin wrong. This world is so fucked up. You live in hell because nobody helps out the poor, desperate people. Well, just go to the mission. The mission doesn't help out. There are no places that truly help out a victim, meaning just give them a place to live. And shame on America, shame on the churches who say that they help. They don't. This whole world's a joke. This whole world is Satan. I mean, this whole world is hell. Because everything's backwards. I mean, seriously, I barely made it. And I went through a hell of a lot. And yeah, I had to put up with a hell of a lot of demon-possessed people. And they're the craziest people on the earth because they're totally delusional. They were violent to me. I was afraid of them. And yeah, I mean, laugh at me. I'm not even going to say what he is, but my worst abuser, I was afraid of him. And, you know, it would be like a mouse. Okay, so that's why it would be like laughable. What? You're afraid of a mouse? Yes, because he was what you call, you know, majorly demon-possessed, domestically violent, super extremely violent against me. And he taught this behavior from my worst abusers, where I came from. He was best friends with them. He's such a liar. You know, and I'm a real Jesus person. I hope that there's not. In my opinion, Earth is hell. So all these insane abusers that made me want to die my whole life, and yeah, my worst abuser majorly made me want to die for 4 months. But he won't admit to that. He's such a fake person. There's too many fake people. So my main point is, my all-loving God, Jesus, and I do believe that he is God, okay, would not have my worst abuser burn in hell forever. That's my opinion. But, I mean, the Vatican changed the Bible. They could have easily made up, you know, I mean, hell is control, you know, to make people be afraid. And, this world is so backwards and really, really, really messed up. So, I could say that, me being demon-possessed would be me, being, super depressed. So, my being demon-possessed would be at the other end of the spectrum of not being violent. Okay, I hold back. I'm afraid of people. So, damn, recently what a super abused person like me, what I did was I held back. Like, I'll get mad and I hold grudges. So I'll hold grudges and hold grudges. It's like, okay. And then I lash out, and that's really bad. So that's, I would consider a little bit of being demon-possessed. That's bad. That's what I always, this is what I was taught. This is where it came from. People, insulted me to death, and then I hold on to that grudge, and then I lash out. I mean, just the worst things always happen to me, and I don't want that anymore. Okay, so my demons won't, attack. I don't go out and look for, I'm not a predator like most insane abusers are. Okay, people abuse me and put me down and make me, I always was made to feel like I wanted to die. Alright, so people, my insane abusers made me want to die with all their demons. Okay, now mine, I'm like afraid of people, but that's really bad to hold grudges, but this is all I've been taught. Because I was taught where I came from that I was screamed at, you got the worst of us, you got the worst of both of us. Both of us, you have the worst of us. What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? For me to have that drilled, me having been hypnotized, being cursed like that, ever since I can remember, I'm hypnotized from ever since I can remember to 7 years old. That's your that's what happens when you're a child. You're in a hypnotic state from 1 to 7. So I was severely abused, severely, hurt, physically, and, put down, and, I have to give, Jesus' blood, who is God, healed me. But I can't be around, like, my worst abuser to say nothing ever happened to me, because then he makes me defend myself and makes me, So I've just been through a lot, and no one should be tortured or suffer. And Earth is hell because victims never ever, they never get help. And it's just sad. And yeah, things are just so bad right now in this world. Really, really bad. And something bad will happen this year, 2023, because, my God, you have multimillionaires. They have no compassion. They just think, a recession's coming. Well, nothing bad's gonna happen. Yeah, well, what happens when there's no grocery stores and everything's poisoned? Your money is not gonna do anything. I don't care about your bitcoins and your, well, it's gonna be a cashless society.